so in the news celebrity for witchcraft. Governor Sir William Fitz, to try the witches, established the court of proceedings in Salem. For a first report of the trials, we take you to Salem, Massachusetts colony. All things are as they were then, except who are there.
This is Todd Hunter. We're in the Salem meeting hall at the witch trial of the Reverend George Burroughs. The prisoner was cried out upon by these children, whose testimony has sent many to the gallows already, while others stand accused and await trial. This is Ann Putnam, age 12, daughter of Sergeant Thomas Putnam, the clerk of the parish. Ann Putnam's testimony has been predominant in the conviction of the other witches. Mary Wolcott Knitting is the daughter of the deacon of the parish. The others are Mercy Lewis, Elizabeth Hubbard, and Abigail Smith. The judges are coming in. There is Justice William Stoughton, followed by Judge John Hathorne. And this is the accused, the Reverend George Burroughs. The jury is filing in. In a moment, the verdict.
In the matter of the Crown Colony of Massachusetts against George Burroughs, what hath the jury found?
We say, with God's counsel, the prisoner to be guilty.
It is
False. The jury speak of God. I am a servant of God. God does not countenance his servants to be made the tool of Satan. It is impossible. I am innocent.
Let the prisoner stand forth. Whereupon George Burroughs has this day been found guilty of the indictment of witchcraft. We command in the name of their Majesties William and Mary, now King and Queen of England, that on August 19th the said George Burroughs be taken from their Majesty's jail in Salem to the place of execution, and there be hanged until he is dead. Remove the prisoner.
I am innocent of God. By all my vows, I swear I am innocent. I am innocent. I am innocent.
Justice Stoughton, sir, and Judge Hathorne.
Yes?
Reverend Burroughs claimed he was innocent. What evidence was against him?
Why, crushing and unequivocal evidence, sir. The condemned man was known to place his middle finger in the barrel of a gun 6 feet long and hold it thus at arm's length.
A gun which strong men found difficulty to lift in the normal fashion.
Also, he would carry full casks of molasses, as though they were eggs blown empty of contents.
Surprising feats of strength, but is it proof of witchcraft?
Such power is only of the devil.
Witch marks were found on the prisoner's body. Sure proof of infestation by malign spirits.
Which marks, sir?
Marks. Excrescences. Discolorations on the skin.
Like warts or port wine marks?
Yet not warts, nor port wine marks, but quite definite points of entry and exit of familiar spirits. Then tormented and tortured these poor unoffending girls most grievously.
And other matters.
Oh, indeed. On the 7th of May this year, I saw the apparition of George Burroughs. He did torment me and urge me to write in the Black Book and to serve the devil. He told me he had made Mr. Shepherd's daughter a witch, and he told me he would do worse to me. He would kill me if I should be witness against him. He made Abigail Hobbs a witch. He told me. One night, 2 women came before my bed in winding sheets, and I saw they were dead. And they told me they were George Burroughs' first wives, and he had murdered them. And then Goodman Fuller's first wife came to me in winding sheets and told me George Burroughs had murdered her because there had been a quarrel between him and her husband. And other things.
Is such spectral evidence acceptable in court, gentlemen?
It comes from those who walk in righteousness.
Is it not possible for the righteous also to be ignorant or ill?
They're not ignorant of the loving guidance of the eternal.
You seem to be studied in the language of divine philosophy, sir.
I studied 2 years for the ministry.
Before studying for the bar?
I never studied law.
Nor I, nor any of us.
But gentlemen.
We were appointed for our discretion and fidelity by Governor Fitz of this colony, of which I have the honor of being deputy governor.
I see. Just what is a witch, sir?
Well,
Excuse me. The witches and wizards are those who sell themselves into the service of Satan and receive in exchange a familiar spirit
a minister of Satan, that is.
who gives them the power to inflict mischief on living things by supernatural means.
How did this witch trouble start in Salem?
But
This
in their
past winter,
innocence.
This past winter, these unhappy girls fell in with the slave woman Tituba, a confessed witch, by the way. Presently, they became wildly detected and sent for the doctor, who, finding nothing mortally amiss, pronounced them bewitched.
It is manifest that their doings with the witch woman did make them susceptible to other witcheries.
Most of the witches have been named by Ann Putnam here, isn't that so?
Indeed.
There are whispers that your family has quarreled greatly in the village, and that most of the people you've accused happen also to be enemies of your father and mother.
It is a fact that witches are quarrelsome, not that the quarrelsome are witches, sir.
Don't you think?
We must rest and reflect upon our sad duty.
We turn you over to Ned Cramer with a report from Salem Jail. Come in, Ned Cramer. This is Ned Cramer. We're standing just outside the cell of the Salem Jail. Although the prisoners are carefully guarded, they are permitted visitors, and this man and woman are undoubtedly in that category. All the people we see here are being held for trial as witches or have already faced the court and are condemned to hang. This is Mrs. Mary A.S.C, who has been accused by the Salem girls and is expected to go on trial today. This is a woman named Foster, believed by many to be deranged. Having confessed to being a witch, she will not be put to death. Sir, are you acquainted with any of the prisoners here?
No, sir. We know they're allowed visitors, however.
We thought we might comfort them a little.
Well, by your dress and manner, you're not citizens of Salem.
We're from Charlestown.
And you came here solely to extend sympathy to these people?
Not precisely. We have a certain personal interest in the proceedings. Excuse me.
Madam, would it be amiss if we had a few words with you?
No, sir.
Are you one of those charged with witchcraft?
I'm condemned to death.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, sir, but regret is not enough.
I know.
Grief is not enough. The apologies and the redress that come after the innocent have been long with the grave worms are all too late.
Except to instruct the future to be wiser.
Yes.
Do you question the very existence of witchcraft?
Oh, no, sir, there are witches, and they must be found out, but I'm not one of them.
She lies. She lies in her witch's teeth, and she knows it. She is a witch. She is one of us.
There you see a true confessed witch.
She made me a witch. We went together to a witches' meeting in the Reverend Paris's pasture. The devil himself carried us there on a long pole, flying in the darkness. Only the pole broke, pitched us both to the ground and hurt me. See how I live still. It proves.
Surely this nymph was not taken in evidence.
It was powerful proof that good wife Foster's confession was true and I a witch.
In open court. She did tie the hands of Susanna Sheldon so hard only a sword could free her. Hey?
Did the court see these fetters?
Not unless they all be witches.
Sir, good wife Mary A.C.'s on trial, and I know before God she could be as innocent as myself.
Good wife A.C., how will you plead?
To plead guilty would be to belie myself. I plead innocent.
Who is your counsel?
My conscience. We have no counsel, sir. None but the Lord. And none will come forward to speak well of us. We stand alone.
Incredible.
And more. She bewitched John Lovejoy's hog to death, she did.
Good wife A.C., the magistrates are honorable men.
Ask goody carriers, they be wise ones. My sister Rebecca was acquitted by the jury. You see? She was acquitted. The crowd cried out for her death. The magistrate returned the jury to their room to reflect again, and this time to come out with a verdict of guilty. This the 12 good, frightened men did do. And my sister moulders in her grave for it.
Mrs. A.C.
She was quite old and harmless and Christian and good, and last month she hanged.
Mrs. A.C.
A witch may confess her guilt, then live to send the innocent to their death? Is this justice and honor in Massachusetts colony?
Trust in the goodwill and the justice of the court, Nathaniel.
And those wretched girls?
One of them cried out on
Dear.
me. One of them cried out on me.
From here to Charlestown, and the girl never met my wife and doesn't know her. My wife has been cried out on in the rankest hearsay and fantasy.
Our friends advised us to come to Salem and present ourselves for questioning. They believe in the court and its mercies. Why shouldn't we?
May I say, Mr. Carey and Mrs. Carey, how much I respect your respect for the law and for due process.
We'll sit in court and see how it goes before we cast ourselves upon the discretion of the court.
Are they wise in doing this, good wife carrier?
They have small choice.
Why is that?
They will be sought out and found if they try to run away. A deputy named Willard, sickened of the slaughter, refused to arrest any more witches. He fled, was found, tried for witchcraft himself and hanged. Others the same. Reverend George Burroughs the same. There's no escape from the court and its young hawk.
Then you don't share the carrier's belief in justice.
My 4 young children, the eldest 12, were accused of being witches.
Mere children, witches?
They won't suffer. You see, sir, they all testified their mother indeed was a witch.
The devil himself told me he picked her to be his queen. She murdered 13 people.
My name is Martha Carrier. I am not a witch. I ask no pity or grieving when the truth be known. Let the future redress this wrong with kindness and mercy and sanity to its own time. I ask nothing else.
We return you to the meeting house for the trial of Mary A.C.
Are you sure that what you've told the court...
Mr. Tuttle, the court has resumed its session, and Judge Hathorne has stepped down from the bench to pursue a direct questioning of the accused, Mary A.C.
No.
Mercy Lewis, Ann Putnam, Elizabeth Hubbard, Mary Wolcott, Abigail Smith, you have charged the prisoner with inflicting anguish upon you by her evil spirit. Doth this woman hurt you as she looks? Avert the face of the accused. What say you, good wife A.C.? Are you guilty?
Before Jesus Christ, I am innocent.
You see how these accuse you with their torments.
As God lives, it is false.
Mercy, Lewis, hath this woman brought the black book to you to sign? Oh, to any of you, speak. Mary A.C., why do you stop the mouths of these witnesses?
I do not.
How far have you complied with Satan?
You do not ask me, do I comply with Satan, but how far?
Enough!
You caught me guilty at the start, questioning only how far I am guilty, and it is wrong of you.
Very well, good wife A.C. Have you complied with Satan?
I have never complied with him, but have prayed against him all of my days. The people here could say so were they not struck with fear that these poor, deluded children will cry out on them for it.
If you are guilty, confess and save yourself.
I will not belie myself to live.
Mercy Lewis, look you at the prisoner. Is this indeed the woman who brought the black book to you?
The one. I saw the black man at her shoulder giving her the evil book. She pinched me, choked me until I was almost dead.
What say you, good wife A.C.?
You are witnessing a typical demonstration of the strange susceptibility of these girls to the actions of the accused witches. Notice how the girls' necks and heads strain downward. It is believed here that they are under the powerful influence of the accused familiar spirit.
Lift up the head of the accused! Let Samuel Smith of Salem town come forward. Will you give your testimony, please?
I came one night to speak business with Isaac A.C. Goodwife A.C. found my speech rough and did say so. She told me I would be sorry for it. On my way home, I passed a stone fence and I felt a great blow on my back, and the stone wall rattled like skeletons, frightening my horse. From the blow I got, I bore a black mark for weeks.
I know nothing about that. Yes, the apparition of Mary A.C. came to pinch and choke me. She blinded my eyes.
And yet, you say you saw her.
Yes, and I saw her again in Mercy Lewis's house, choking her with a chain. It's true. I could hardly breathe for it.
What say you, Mary A.C.? Was it the devil who prompted you?
I know nothing of these things. I am innocent. It must be something evil that causes these strange things. But if it be witchcraft or whose, I do not know. I know only that I am not guilty.
Let the witnesses think carefully. Are you sure that this is the woman?
Take one of the girls to the prisoner.
Sir, Your Honor, Judge Hathorne, what is Justice Stoughton doing?
You see what's happening in this courtroom? The air is seething with demons and goblins and must be cleared of them before we go on.
Let the jury retire. Let them decide if Goodwife E.C. commandeth a dire familiar spirit, and is guilty or innocent of doleful witchcraft.
We will return here for the verdict. Meanwhile, Harlo Wilcox at Harvard College is ready with a discussion of witchcraft and the trial.
This is Harlo Wilcox outside the residence of the Reverend Increase Mather, president of Harvard College and one of the most enlightened minds in New England today. Mr. Mather, sir, do you believe in the existence of witches?
In Exodus 22:17, we read, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live." Having God's warrant that witches must be exterminated, we have warrant that they do exist.
Well, sir, would you have any comment to make on the trials now going on in Salem?
The name witch is so odious that we must exercise the gravest care before bestowing it on anyone. I trust they are exercising the most exquisite precautions, particularly in the matter of evaluating spectral events.
Well, believing in witches as you do, and yet skeptical of certain types of evidence, on what grounds may a witch be safely condemned?
I am of the belief that the evidence should be as clear as in any other major crime. However, if two credible persons affirm under oath certain incriminating evidence against the accused, that would be sufficient for conviction.
One last question before returning to Salem. Do you consider that court to be showing your wisdom and forbearance?
They have acted with fidelity according to their light. They deserve prayers and pity, not censure.
Thank you, sir. We return you now to Salem Meeting Hall.
The jury is just returning and the court brought to order. We'll hear the verdict on Mary E.C. in a moment.
In the matter of the Crown Colony, Massachusetts, against Mary E.C., what hath the jury found?
We say, with God's counsel, the prisoner be guilty.
Let the prisoner stand forth. The prisoner has heard the verdict. In the name of their Majesties William and Mary, now King and Queen of England, we command that on September 22nd, Mary E.C. be taken from their Majesties' jail in Salem to the place of execution, and there be hanged until she is dead. Do you speak, Mary E.C.?
If you will hear me out. This court brands me witch. The Lord above knows my innocence, as shall all men on that great day of judgment. I do not petition your hearts for my own life. I plead now only for others, that no more innocent blood be shed, as it will surely be if you keep in the way and course you go now. I question not that your honors do to the utmost in the discovery of witchcraft and of witches, and would not be guilty of bloodshed and innocent blood for all the world. I ask not for myself. I ask for mercy for those who will follow me. And I question not that the Lord in his love and in his infinite will give blessing to your purpose. I am ready.
Your Honors, if it please the court, my wife and I take this moment to put ourselves upon the wisdom and discretion of the court. My wife has been cried out on as a witch. Now, we know this to be some misunderstanding. We have sat here that these girls may sense a witch among them, if my wife is such. Yet they have detected no witchery in the audience.
Your name, sir?
I have not given my name purposely, better to test the girls. But now the test is done. Our name is Carey of Charlestown. I am a shipbuilder.
Seize upon her! Resist the wisdom of the law. Let her go. Let her alone. Sir, we'll go to the prisoner at the bar.
Nathaniel!
The test is made. The prisoner will be taken to jail to await trial.
Nathaniel! I'm not a witch. I swear it, I'm not a witch. Nathaniel, save me, save me, save me.
God will take vengeance on you and these senseless
Silence!
I will never be silent. It is gone. You will not kill my wife. She will never face trial. If I must tear down these walls, my wife will not remain in jail to face this court.
Put him out!
You have gone too far. Witches indeed. Too far, too far.
Others were tried and hanged, and all ultimately in the village of only 7. Nathaniel Carey never let his wife face trial, but broke into the jail and liberated her. The afflicted children, carried away by their power, accused higher and higher. And at last they accused Lady Phipps, the wife of Governor Sir William Phipps himself. Promptly the governor denounced the whole court and dissolved it. 6 months of terror in Salem were over. Most of the afflicted children went on to drab and shameful lives, and Putnam, years later, repented publicly. And Mary Eastie's plea for mercy and truth lives today. August 1692, the witch hunt reached high noon. What sort of a day was it? A day like all days, filled with those events that alter and illuminate our time. And you were there.